Welcome out to the shop. My name is Mark. It's the Malarkey Taylor channel. Not working on the Jeep tonight, working on something else. It's a random Friday night and I've got a project that my wife asked me to work on. And when I say she asked me to work on it, I mean that she started, asking me about it maybe 6 months ago. It's been sitting up there. My wife does pottery, and if you're not familiar, most of you guys know, she does pottery and has like the spinny wheel thing, the potter's wheel. Well, she got a second one and it needed some work, so that's what we're working on tonight. So let's check it out. This is the wooden part for it, and this is where the wheel goes through, and this was all getting rotten, so the wheel was kind of like tilting and moving. So we got a new piece of plywood here. We're gonna skin it with the old plastic again, and I gotta get it cut out, get those holes drilled in it, and then I'll take you guys downstairs and show you where I'm putting it back together, and then hopefully we'll get that knocked out and she can start using 2 pottery wheels. So here we go. So here, I gotta take the metal blade out of it, and we're gonna find a wood blade. Ooh, that one's dull. We're gonna find a wood blade. Now we're talking. Put that guy in there. Yeah. You can see this board just is falling apart. So we've got our holes marked, and we've got our shape marked. Now we can cut. So for that last little bit of fitting, I wanted to make sure that I fit that plastic piece as snug as I possibly could without going too small. Because if I went too small, it would maybe, if you lean against it, it might crack the plastic. So I just wanted to kind of shave off that little bit. Couldn't tell from this. This was perfectly fitted. The old one was perfectly fitted to the plastic, but the new one wasn't. Now I gotta get a hole, cut the hole saw for that, and then peel these guys out and drill the holes for the mounting. The next thing I'm going to do is take all of these little metal grip things, these bolt things out. And to do that, I'm hoping I can just take this hammer and this chisel. And just hit it from the other side. And then it should just pop out. And then we can take these guys and put them in our new thing once we drill a hole. So I gotta do that a bunch more and then move on. You can see the way that these things would just recess themselves in there. And that's how the wheel is connected to the spindle and the motor. And so as you push down on the pottery wheel, it would just kind of sink in these holes. And well, it's just not a good situation. So that's what we're fixing here tonight. We're going to take and put new holes in that wood. Or no, that wood, and then we're going to reattach the bearing to that. So the next thing I got to do is drill holes in there for these to get sunk. Okay, we're back down here in the basement, aka the pottery studio. Got my helpers. Alright, this is the frame for the unit. This is the bottom pulley, and then the top piece is around here somewhere. But this is the bearing unit, and this bearing unit connects to the bottom of there, and that's what the wheel connects to. So this guy goes on here, like that, and then and so when you're making pottery, you're pushing down on that, and that's why this was making a big mess. So I think if this has problems with this new wood, we're probably going to weld a new piece on here so that this has some level of support. But we got to make sure we do that without interfering with this pulley. But for now, I'm going to put that board onto that frame and get it all back together again and try it out. Okay, I got it back together. But if you're taking this apart, you take all these bolts off down here, and there's one in here. So right down there at the end, you just unscrew this foot, and then you can take that one off on the end. I'm going to screw that back on here all the way. Coincidentally, I'm pretty sure this is how you can, well, no, maybe not. There doesn't seem to be a good way to level this thing, but maybe shims under it, I don't know. But I guess with being 3 legs, it really won't wobble too much. Shouldn't. Anyway, getting close. Okay, this was a little bit hard to get off. We took the set screws out, but we had to hammer because it was just a little bit of rust on that lip there. You can kind of see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some 1000 grit. I'm just going to sand this off, polish it up a little bit so that this will ride on there smooth, so that we can take it on and off in case we need to. This is a little bit of a clunky bearing, so I may have to replace it, but I'm going to just do this real quick and move on. Okay, got it on. It's pretty free in there. So that means we can put the set screws in there. We can set the height. We want to try to make sure that the belt is equal to that. This particular one, I'm pretty sure this motor was replaced once because the motor has 4 grooves and the belt has 2. And I know nothing about these things, but I'm guessing that that's because the motor and the thing aren't the same, because it probably was replaced. This thing looks super old, but I think it's gonna work. So I'm gonna tighten these down and then I'm gonna start on the top. But before we finish the top, I'm gonna glue this plastic on, and we're getting there. I put the belts on down here first, and then I ran them up along the side and over the wheel. So I got that on there, and they're pretty tight. And then what I did was I ran it a bunch. I just turned it with the belt, so the pulley could line up based with the belts where it wanted to be on here. And so then I'm going to put the set screws in, and then I'll run it on the motor to see if it runs on the right without the belts coming off, because I don't want it to like have to chew the belts all the time. So I want this to be the right level, to be kind of in line with that. And it looks like we got it, because we had it free enough on here that I could see it like moving around, and that's where it ended up. That seems like that's going to work. Turn it off. I think we're going to be back in here at some point though, because it sounds like this bearing in here is going bad, which I kind of thought it might be. I'm still trying to find the right size bearing, so I'll have to take this hub apart and see if I can replace those bearings. For now, I'm going to try to drip some oil on the top there and see if we can get some oil in there and quiet it down, because there's no play. It just seems like it's a little bit tight, so it's definitely dried up in there. I may also try to get some grease on it, but that's for another time. For now, I'm gonna flip it up and put some glue on there, get the plastics in place, because I can take the bearing out anytime and fix that. But the pulley runs good. These are tight, which, by the way, you want to put the set screw even with the flat on there, and that'll tighten that down. And then there's another set screw right there to kind of give it another second set so that it doesn't spin on there. So then we'll put the wheel on, we'll put this on top, we'll put that on top, and then we'll put the wheel on top, and we're gonna do yep. Having a hard time getting the top wheel on. I think it's because it cooled down quite a bit since last time I did it. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of heat in there and try to heat that up so that it slides on there nice. Loctite construction adhesive. Just put some globs on here. Trying to match the old pattern. That'll do. Okay, well, I can't seem to get that back on there. Heat didn't work, and the 1000 grit didn't work, so I have some 320 grit. I'm gonna put a good sand on this, and I'm gonna put a good sand on that. We'll see if we can come up with a loose and goosey thing to do. Nice thing is, with it all hooked up, I can just run it. Auto sanding. Seems like it's ready now, so it's kind of should just slide right on there, right like that. All right. Then we want to find the flat spot in there and put those set screws back in. So I'm just turn it till we find the flat spot. You can't see that, but you're gonna have to trust me. That's what I did. This one in. Second set screw in there. It's kind of a tight spot, so to get them tight, I put vice grips on there. Don't over tighten them, because if you ever gotta take it apart, you gotta come back in here and take it apart. But just give yourself a little bit extra leverage with this guy. There we go. Other one. There we go. That should do it. See if she runs. Wow. Oh, she runs. That's actually a pretty good wheel. Oh, I got it. Oh, I can stop it. But it's hard. Okay. And there. It's about the end of my knowledge on how to test the wheel, so I gotta turn it over to the potter. See if it works for him, but it seems like it's solid, it's smooth. And the thing that we were really trying to solve here was the tipping. So if you push on one side or the other, it doesn't move. So before it would kind of like tilt, and that's no good. Well, at least I don't think that's good. She'd be able to tell you. But okay. But of course, the real test is to hand it over to the potter and see what she thinks.
We got something impacting that splash pan.
I heard something wrong. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm trying not to touch it too much.
What are you making?
You have to find a different splash pan.
I should be able to move the wheel head that much. You know what I mean? Like
Should be able to move what?
I shouldn't be able to move the wheel head into that.
Well, I would guess that the splash pan is moving into the
What's that?
wheel head. I don't see the wheel head moving. I think the splash pan is moving into it. Yeah, I can see the splash pan moving up.
Yeah.
jackets aren't loose like that, you get caught in there. Yeah. You wouldn't want to wear something that's going to get caught in that wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Like the thing at my neck, I have to tuck in usually, but I didn't, and then my hands are like this. Speed control is really nice. It's really smooth.
Good. If we get the pan thing figured out, it should be a nice wheel then.
Yeah, it throws me off because it's like I would focus and push a little, I think, with my leg, and it would like.
You were bracing off the pan almost instead of your leg.
Well, yeah, because it's
and
so.
you wanted to push your leg into the pan.
Because this is kind of high compared to where the wheel is.
Yeah.
So my other, like, if you look, the wheel head is only like an inch or so below the splash pan.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find a different pan for it.
But as a result, I didn't center it really well.
Yeah, I see that.
But I was like, you know what? I'm like pressing against the bottom was really hard.
What do you think?
I think it's nice.
Work?
Yeah.
Maybe address the bowl situation and then.
Yeah, I think that's
Cool.
all it really needs. Hey, you're off and you're still going.
Yeah. Sometimes
Still going a little bit.
that's the thing. Turn the switch off. You might tilt into it and then back out again and see if it stops.
That worked. I saw something I could smooth out though.
Well, there you have it. $50 Facebook Marketplace wheel. A couple of pieces of wood and an evening of getting my hands dirty. And we're back in business. We need to get a new splash pan for it. That splash pan is one that we got for a different wheel, but thought it might work, but you can hear it rubbing at some points, and when we put the bat pins in, it hits the wheel, so we couldn't use a bat. So, but she ran her first piece. There we go. Well, that's it for tonight. Thanks for stopping out. I'll catch you guys next time.